Hello my soul family, welcome to my body, mind and spirit health and wellness page. Hello my soul family, welcome to our spirituality retreat for this full moon in Scorpio, provided by my body, mind and spirit health and wellness brand. My name is Christy Ramirez and I'm your health and wellness expert, and I am also a soul coach, so make sure to also check out that brand at christyramirez.com. So for today's full moon in Scorpio, we are undergoing a lot of changes for this rebirth that we're about to experience. And might I just add, for the spirituality retreat, it's a two-part retreat event. We start off with our spiritual talk where we talk about the energies, and then we move on to like about a 10 to 15 minute, max 30-minute sambal healing session based on what we talked about, what we need to heal. So this is why I usually always do our spiritual talks first. So this, full moon in Scorpio is really bringing in a lot of restructuring in the way that we do things, our lifestyle, our routines, our home, our sanctuary, and we're undergoing a lot of changes again so that we can experience this rebirth. And it's interesting because I did write a journal this year called The Rebirth for this year of 2021, because this is very much finally the culmination that I spoke about in the last spiritual talk, that this is a free event so you can all watch it on YouTube. I know I said last time that I was going to make it exclusive, but my apologies because God corrected me again and he was referring to something else. So it's interesting because sometimes, the way that I communicate with God, sometimes it's difficult to decipher what he's really saying at times. And that could just mean that there is more balance needed. Maybe there's a lack of spiritual alignment. So more spiritual practice is needed. And this is part of these new lifestyle changes that we're all experiencing. More health and wellness needs to be in our immediate priority, because without health and wellness, there's nothing else. There's no money, there's no home stability. First comes your health, and then the rest follows. And I know that a lot of people don't have that mentality, and that's why they suffer of health issues. And you don't want to fall into that category or follow those people who are too achievement oriented and they put everything else last, and their work and their money situations first. And I know that we all need to survive in this world, but God is reassuring us that you will be safe and you will be taken care of. So first comes our faith in God, and this will reap good gold in the future. And if you're worried about your immediate present moment, God is telling us, don't worry, because by surrendering more, you'll know that you'll just be surprised by these little miracles all the time. But if there's any speck of doubt or fear in your aura, that's where you're blocking this abundance from coming in. And I know this is literally a risk of faith, because many people have also families to support, and there's all of these other material, or should I say more like physical realm barriers that really get people stuck if they don't see beyond the ethereal realm. If their spiritual eye basically is not functioning properly. Our spiritual eye is what's able to see visions, what's able to see beyond what you're seeing physically. Like with my sambal healing that's right here, I can see beyond this. Beyond that, this is just gold. This is a healing tool. So that's what I mean by using your spiritual eye. It's not about just seeing this as a gold bowl. A mundane person will see this as a gold bowl. What can I store in this gold bowl? Maybe I should put some flowers. Maybe this is useless and doesn't even look good on the table. But my spiritual eye is saying to me, this is precious treasure here, because this has the ability to heal us on an auric level that we're not all seeing, to realign our chakras. So I treasure this and I put this on a pedestal. Even if it doesn't match what I have, I would still put this on a pedestal. And that's where I have it. I have it on this beautiful meditation pillow, just dedicated for this symbol. I don't even sit on it because it's my treasure, right? And it was a beautiful gift bestowed to me by someone very important. And whether or not it was a gift, it's still important treasure, right? And so that's the point of where I'm getting at. There's a lot of profound, even dark truths being revealed, is what I was getting today as I was showering. Because the energies have been really heavy and emotional even, but only because we're going deep within. We're doing deep healing. That's what Scorpio's about. It's about doing the deepness, because it is ruled by Pluto. And Pluto is like the smallest planet in the solar system, all the way in the far end, where it can't even be seen with the naked eye in the sky, right? And that's what we're getting to. All of these deep, profound issues that have been buried for years. So this brings up childhood traumas that maybe haven't been even talked about. I've been getting a lot of memories resurfacing from when I was a child, and a lot of it is hurtful, but a lot of it also explains why people are the way that they are now. A lot of it explains the situation that we're all finding ourselves in, whether that be a family situation, a living situation, or even just a worldwide situation. There's a lot of dark truths revealed in these painful memories, but they need to be talked about. They need to be resolved. This is this unfinished business that I actually spoke about in yesterday's daily. The free daily morning spiritual guidance that I offered on my YouTube channel. I just speak about that there's a lot of unfinished artwork, but there's also a lot of unfinished business when it comes to our heart space, the emotional space, relationship-wise, family, friends, and maybe even lovers if you're already in a relationship. And when it comes to love, it's even more intense because there's dark truths revealed that maybe there's no more passion there. Maybe they're not really the one for you. They're not your true soulmate. These are these kind of dark truths that are being revealed. And this is a sad sorrow moment I'm feeling for this full moon in Scorpio, but only because we are closing out this cycle with the full moon and releasing all that doesn't serve us when we're honest with those that we love and with yourself especially. So that by this next new moon in Taurus, which of course is going to bring great abundance, and I am a Taurus and my birthday is actually very soon, and this is more even prominent in my life, which is why I'm experiencing this full-blown, full blast. And I don't even know how I'm showing up here, but I've made it my priority that I'm going to show up here no matter what. I'm not going to let anything get in the way. Nothing trying to stop me, even if it's just my own emotions, because I've promised God and committed myself to this mission, and I've learned to love this mission because it is now my passion. And you know, whatever happens in the future, I'll still be here. And whether or not anybody around you understands your mission, because that's the thing about our true life's purpose, which is also being awakened this full moon. Not people around you are going to understand, especially if they're not awakened, especially if they are too attached to the 3D realm. They're not going to understand your true purpose, because many people's true purpose initially is not something that can seem like it will reap a lot of money, right? Take, for example, someone who has a passion for being a chef. It's just a simple example. But let's say that before that they were a bank person. And, you know, it's a stereotype as well that, you know, bank people make more money, because, of course, a chef who's very passionate, very good at what he does, can make triple the amount of money than just an employee at a bank, right? So that's the kind of situations that I'm talking about. Lots of 360-degree kind of shifts. And only those who are willing to take that leap of faith into what they truly love, because Scorpio does rule passion, not only when it comes to true love, but also when it comes to what we do for a living, our purpose. If you have enough passion with what you want to do for a living, trust that all else will be taken care of. And that's the message for today. I really want to I have like a little tea time here. I want to enjoy some tea today instead of coffee, because I usually have coffee around this time. But today I was guided to make it more of a healing day. And as usual, I'm doing my herbal tea that I do teach in my herbology master course. So actually, you know, before I take a sip of this wonderful tea, I actually want to say an intention and let this liquid, this tea or water, whatever it is that you're drinking, be a healing medicine for our body, mind, and soul. Let it heal us from many past baggages, especially our heart chakra. It is green tea anyways. It's like green herbal tea. And let it soothe our throat chakra. And let us only speak words of kindness, compassion, and unconditional love. Let us all heal any unresolved issues in our life. And let us all take into consideration these past memories that are resurfacing. And in retrospect, let us forgive that which we need to forgive. Any resentments or bitterness or just hurts that no longer serve you in your heart space. Because we are freeing up some space in our heart chakra to allow something more beautiful to come in, which is true love, our dreams come true, and fulfilling our life's mission. That's our intention for today. And that was the best sip I've ever taken. And I also want to actually chime our bells today to kind of just clear the space. I already saged and did the rituals before, but I want us to now energetically clear our minds. This is the moment now to meditate, to connect with the energies, and not think about anything outside. Nothing that happened 5 minutes ago or nothing that happened yesterday is gonna enter into your mind right now. Because the secret to being in a clear relationship with God is to empty your mind to allow for the genius of the divine. There's a lot of divine inspirations that are entering through our crown chakra during these moments. It could seem overwhelming for many, myself included. And it can seem like you want to get everything done. But God is telling us temperance. Slow down, patience, because all will be done in divine timing. All you need to worry about now is the task immediately ahead of you, which is in our present moment. So more mindfulness and just learning to smell the roses along the way. So let us clear our mind. Perfect. I do want to demonstrate to you this little chakra rug that I have. And I want to definitely point out to our throat chakra, because this is a chakra that I haven't spoken about in these spiritual talks, but now is the moment when this is truly being cleared, activated, and healed. There's a lot of things that have been said that can't be taken back. So we really need to take into consideration when we speak to those that we love and even to ourselves, because these words can't be taken back. And realize also that the throat chakra doesn't only rule your verbalization of words, but it also rules your thoughts. So any rumination of negative thinking that you have all been experiencing, that needs to be shifted and turned around into positive thinking, because that affects your aura, it affects the way you interact with your heart space, it affects your ability to get creative, your ability to have confidence in yourself. All of the lower chakras are affected when your throat chakra is out of alignment. So this is the culmination point that we've reached. And maybe even the higher heart chakra, because the higher heart chakra is in between the heart and the throat. And I feel like that's more than anything where we're at, because there's still a little bit of cleansing in the heart chakra coming here. And this is what my upcoming book's going to talk about. It's about all the intermediate chakras as well, plus the higher chakras. I channeled a lot of information on all of the chakras, the 14 chakras, a year and a half back. And I wrote the book, but it's not completed. And I have to first complete other projects before I can finish this project. But this is a project that's definitely next in line after I finish what I first have to do. And this is a special project to me because my awakening to spiritual practice, to the chakras, has been a turning point in my life. And it goes even way beyond soul coaching and my psychology career. This is about my healing side of me that was activated about right before I started my business. And my throat chakra back then was a little bit too closed off, which is why I was channeling through writing, because remember, our throat chakra can also be channeling through writing. It's any form of expression. And my first form of expression has always been through just naturally my art, in my physical talents. And the next one that got awakened for me was writing. And it was very interesting to me because I never thought of myself like a poetic kind of person or just channeling these messages. But of course I realized that it's channeled. So it's a direct message from God. So more than anything, this is also spiritual gifts that we use to express God's voice, God's word. And that's what I have been used for on my mission, is to express God's words through my writing, through my speech now, which was awakened when I began this business, soul coaching. And my physical talents has just always been more of my way of express. It's like my personal talent, right? That's where our individual mission comes in, because that's where I did explain this in one of the spiritual talks. But there's 3 levels of missions that people have, and not everybody has all 3. The first level is our individual mission, which is our talents. Usually these are hobbies, things that do serve a higher collective purpose at some level only. It's usually inspiration, okay? And a lot of people have that kind of talent because it could just be anything that you love to do and you do it great, right? And this just inspires others to want to work hard for their dreams to come true, right? That's like the basic level of mission work, your purpose. And I don't mean basic, like it's just basic, because a lot of these missions are actually very difficult and it takes a whole life to be able to perfect it. It's like a life's work. It's like your legacy. But the second level of mission work, that many of these people who have this one mission can also have this second mission, which those are the light workers, okay? Because everybody can be a light worker, but that's our choice, right? Everybody can be chosen to some extent, but not everybody's just willing to sacrifice that extra time for this level of mission. Because this second level of mission is very difficult. It's very time consuming and it's very energetically consuming. Or should I say energetically taxing, because you are channeling heavenly spirit. You're connecting with the Holy Spirit all the time. How can that not be energetically taxing? And on top of that, you're feeling the collective energies because you're an empath. So that's a lot of responsibility. It's a lot of burden. And God is wanting to release the burden from us. But there is a level of hard work and weight that we do need to carry as light workers. It's a weight of responsibility to heal the world. It's kind of like superheroes, like the comedies, right? The comedies that that was written, like superheroes. All these superheroes had the responsibility of saving the world, and then they would turn around and live their double life and just be a regular human and have a regular job. That's what I'm talking about in this second level kind of mission. It's a double life. So you could just imagine that you never have a time off. They don't have a personal life. because they are living a double career, a double life. And now there's only a few who jump to the third level, which is what my love show is based on. These are the spiritual lovers who are on the same mission. So that way now they can have a personal life, they can have a romantic union, because the romantic union is not going to get in the way of this spiritual mission. So it's imperative that they are on the same mission, which is God's mission, God's light work mission, not just this first level kind of purpose. Spiritual lovers can only come into union when they're both on the second level kind of mission. Okay, and I hope I verbalize this, that you can understand this. But this is what God wants to tell us today, because I feel like there is some confusion, especially when it comes to romantic unions, because that's what actually sets people back. People who just get into any romantic union because they're lonely, because they don't want to be alone in this life. And of course, if you're in this first level mission, that most likely wouldn't even cross your mind. But if you're a light worker, most certainly that did cross your mind, right? You want the spiritual kind of love, but you also never want to step off your mission. Well, I'm telling you that you can have it both, because that's this love that's awaiting you. So watch my love show if you want to learn more about that love journey. Okay? And that is going to be a very great one for this May that's coming up. I already am excited for it. But if we're to go deeper now with this full moon in Scorpio, it's very intense. But let me have more tea here. Scorpio is also activating our intuition. Yeah, because you know, Scorpios are usually the most intuitive sign in the zodiac, right? Or one of the most intuitive. And this is what's being activated, our third eye intuitive aspect, the high priestess within us. Okay? And so this is why there's a lot of cleansing happening, purification, and we just need to be receptive to this. I know it's a little bit difficult, and a lot of people might feel resistant to the healing that's taking place right now, but it's only to let it go. They'll not come back, right? It's like not about regressing on our journey. We're not going to regress with this kind of profound healing that's taking place. We're only going to continue moving forward. And if I'm to make another recommendation for you all, my new Atomic Soul Coaching program is going to really help during this transition from this full moon to this next new moon in Taurus. I really suggest you take a look at that program. It's provided by my Soul Coaching brand. You can take a look directly at the trailer at christianrich.com/unewyou. And this is going to be very, very helpful for you all, because this newness that's coming in is forever. Forever and always. No more change, no more instability. This transition is an anomaly. It's not like we're always going to be, of course we're always transitioning and we're always evolving, is the better word. But the transition from the old self to the new self, it's like we're moving from the old earth into the new earth. This can only happen once in your life. That's what the awakening is, and I'll be writing about that soon. And this is the journey that's going to continue to like approximately 2024. And so we just need to be patient, because it's not going to happen overnight. And I can't just emphasize that enough, because I know that many people are impatient on their journey. But temperance is that card that I'm seeing right now. That is what we need to really live by right now. Now, it's not about the Hanged Man, which is about just not doing anything and just resting too much. It's still about being active behind the scenes and doing work, mission work. But we just need to await the results, the reaping of the rewards that are yet to come, and they might take a little longer still. So don't get discouraged is the message, and don't get frustrated, but rather just learn to love the journey, smell the roses along the way. So this is why it's very important that we have balance in an everyday to day life. Because if you're overworking yourself thinking that you're gonna experience this reward overnight, you're gonna overtax yourself before it's time, and then it's gonna be more difficult to finish the job. So there needs to be balance, okay? Balance between your mission work and your personal life, which includes your health more than anything. Because as light workers especially, we need to be healthy and we need to be in alignment. And I feel like that's the quick message, the intuitive message that I wanted to speak today. And I'm really feeling good in this new environment. You know, my meditation room is actually also under construction right now. But this is a sneak peek of a little bit of how the theme is going to be. And, you know, there's a lot of under constructions in my life, around the world, and as a collective in people's lives. But don't get discouraged, don't get impatient, because it's only to create something more beautiful, more long-lasting, and just more in God's beauty. God is creating in your life, like He created us, right? The 7 days of creation. Remember that He had a 7th day of rest, the Sabbath day. I feel like we're also to follow in His footsteps. Create Monday through Saturday and rest on Sundays. Because that's how God did it best. And that's how we are here today in this beautiful, miraculous world of color, of nature, of these beautiful elements that surround us. And we're to be grateful for that. Okay, my soul family, so I brought out my oracle cards and we're going to do a reading for this full moon in Scorpio. This is my favorite part. I feel like we get extra messages, and I brought a lot of cards because I was guided to. And let's get started. So again, just like I expected, I brought out my Psychic Tarot and we got under the deck Transformation. So number 13th card, which is also about karma, which I also was channeling earlier today. And we're in solitude, right? This is the time to open up the book. And I feel like literally, but also metaphorically, open up the Akashic memories of our life book, our memories from the past, and then even being able to express, right? She's wearing blue here, royal blue. Whatever it is that we're feeling, because I feel like that creates health issues, believe it or not, if you are holding onto your emotions and not expressing it. And there's various ways of expressing it. If you can't physically verbalize it to anybody, then you can channel it through creative art, where you can transmute it into creativity. And I feel like that's more than anything what we're being guided to do, right? Was being activated with our third eye. This is definitely being awoken to the max. And we're seeing the light, which is what my fashion show theme was for April. And I look here and she's sitting in front of a tower. And these are these tower moments that we are in, which I explained in my fashion show for April. Some people are on God's tower, God's mountain, and others are in the tower of prison. It's a perspective, but it's also based on whether you're in the dark or the light. Based on how much passion and love there is in your life. And based on what kind of person you are, right? Your soul. So definitely watch that fashion show. This is going to really clarify a lot of this. But there's hope, because there is positive movement forward happening right now with these changes. Slowly but surely we'll get there, so that we can experience more happiness and the number 8, the rebirth. This is the overall energy for today. So this is already set in stone as well. This is fate that's playing out for us. So there's nothing that can get in the way of that, which I feel like that's where we need to release these fears. I feel like that's where, you see why I love doing these? Because that's where the fear stems from. Believing that somehow your destiny will be derailed, or your fate will change if you don't do this at the certain timing, or whatever it is that might be going on in your mind. God is telling us that if it's in your fate, God will make it happen, because He's the most powerful sorcerer in the world, right? God is the ultimate There's nothing can get in the way of that. So I feel like just shield yourself from your own negativity if that's what you're experiencing. And what's really going to help you with that is A Course in Miracles, which is a series that I'm discussing in my spiritual book club at my School of Light. You can become a member. christianmerge.com/school. Let's get a little deeper on this then with some energy cards. And this is about taking the journey, right? Taking the leap of faith. Wherever you're being called towards, go for it. What are you waiting for? There's birds guiding you. And it's kind of like a sunset as well. It's a beautiful, beautiful ocean. And now we have the third chakra, which here is the solar plexus in the reverse. There's lack of confidence, lack of courage more than anything, which is in line with the fear that people are experiencing. And Archangel Chamuel can help us to find that courage to do what we need to do, whatever it takes, to do what we need to do to get to that next level. Right? Because the world lies in front of you. And I feel like these two cards actually tie very nicely together. This person is looking out there, what's out there. And the guidance is to get out there, right? There's cosmic changes that are happening worldwide. And this is affecting us. This is the enlightenment that's happening with all these beautiful lotus flowers. And this number 29 is significant. You know, that's actually when I awakened on my journey, when I was 29. So that's interesting, right? Sometimes I feel like God talks to me directly, but there is journaling that can help. Strategies, writing again. So my journal is really going to help you all to stay in this gratefulness. And there's keys that are being revealed to us. There's a compass here. Which way to go? Which way is best? So this is also journal log. So maybe I just actually, the first time that I read that part, the log. Logging something maybe. That's where strategy comes in, right? And last but certainly not least, more love is needed. The angel of love is really helping us to heal our heart, but also to return to this love for our mission, perhaps our purpose. Because I feel like a little bit has been lost with all these changes that have happened, and maybe even traumas that you've experienced. Let's take a look at the zodiac card. We got Cancer card, which there is Cancer energy happening astrologically right now. And this also rules home and family, which I feel like this is where most of the changes are happening at, directly in your home space and family. So it's the place that we all want to feel safe and secure, right? But it's being shaped a little bit, only to create something more beautiful. So we need not worry, but we definitely need to continue taking action, right? And not be so emotional about it, because Cancer is very emotional. And there is a lot of water here, which is what also Scorpio is the water element, as Cancer is as well. So there's like a lot of heightened emotion right now, like too much. And there's Mars at the bottom here. And I do feel like we have Mars in Cancer right now, which would explain as well our lack of confidence. Because Mars in Cancer would be at a default. Mars, home sign, would be Aries, fire sign, which it was just in with Aries season, but now it's in the complete opposite basically. And now it's like we're really being challenged to really find the strength from within and use those emotions to get that strength. That's a powerful one, because imagine a warrior with no confidence to go out to war. Where do you think that he gets the energy and the courage from? He gets it from his emotional space. The family and home that he left behind to go to war is what fuels him to fight in the war and want to get back, to want to live. If he didn't have anything to live for, he wouldn't even have the motivation to fight and would probably get killed amidst the battle, right? And that's a powerful message, because I feel like we all have something to live for. And this is bringing up very dark sorrows as well. If we get into like the mental space, but we can shield ourselves from this. We can conquer our own fears. And this is about grabbing your shield and your sword and just going for it. There's a lot that's coming for us that will make life more passionate. This is a very determined man here. And this is what we're needing. We're needing more determination. Maybe a support system that can give you this kind of energy to, again, seek that determination. And we got Saturn at the top, which is interesting because there's also Saturn activity happening. Saturn in Aquarius right now is telling us to step outside and look outside the box. Remember that great things never came from comfort zones. So this requires discipline, but it also requires strategy, which is where Saturn comes in. Strategy to try something new, a different approach. And it will be better. This is about alchemizing and manifesting what we really desire. But the way to get there, hence the strategy, might seem a little ironic, or it might seem a little, what's that word? A little bit, ironic. Like the opposite of what you thought. So that's where we need to keep an open mind, especially with God during these moments. And I do want to take here my Black Moon astrology cards. Yeah, what I expected, what just flew out of the deck were these two cards here. The air element of communication, our throat chakra, and the sixth house routine. This is what's being shaken up. Our routine for ultimate health. This is the anatomy of a man here, of a human being. This is a reminder that we're not human doers, but we're human beings. So we need to start living in the moment, being in the moment, connecting. That's how we connect with the air element, which rules the spiritual realms, the heavenly realms, the angels. The angels have been coming up really strong for me. Yesterday, I did a whole bunch of videos for the School of Light of my angel study class. It's a 3-part curriculum. And I started also the part 1 of it because we have been doing our weekly angel study class. But I've also now included the archangel studies. And we're being connected to the angels at these moments because we are being surrounded by angels as always. But the angels want to help us. And there's messages in the air that want to come for us so that we can express it and share it with the collective through our artwork. And this is sacred geometry that's also being activated, which I did bring those decks as well. And last but certainly not least, we got the Pisces energies, which is about the artisticness that we're all being consumed with. And I'm saying consumed because it's a lot of overwhelm. You know, many famous artists have experienced mental issues because it gets so strong, these downloads that they get. Like I said in the daily, the frustrated artist, they're frustrated with no reason because at the end of the day, when they pass away and their artwork is left behind, it's a legacy, it's a masterpiece, that it seems even perfect even though it's imperfect. It's like the imperfection is perfection. And I feel like this Pisces energy is the two fishies, kind of like the dichotomy of the black and the white, the dark and the light, but also of your own mind. The negatives and the positives, the pros and the cons, right? And I feel like we need to balance those two out. Again, that's where the daily message that I said on Monday is the same thing that I'm feeling with this heart. We need to believe that we're in the perfect moment right now. We're exactly where we need to be. And we need to believe in our artistic potential. And we need to believe in miracles. And we need to believe in this healing that's taking place. That's the energy that I'm getting. And of course, with this triangle here, this is the symbol of heaven. This is the symbol of us communicating with higher beings, with God, with Source. And this is what is awakening to many people at these moments. Believe it or not. Even though I said 2020 was the awakening, there's still people awakening. And there's different levels of awakening as well. It's not like you just awaken all of a sudden to everything, right? Because that would be too much. You awaken little by little to different truths. You get revealed little by little parts of your journey. You can't just have a big vision and just know it all in one moment. So that's why I feel like this awakening is continuous throughout these next 4 years in total, starting from 2020. So this next 3 more years to 2024, there's still awakening happening. And this can be awakening as to your purpose, your life, maybe about love, what you want in love, what you desire out of life. And maybe you're learning more about yourself too. And so again, this all requires a lot of soul searching and a lot of silent time. That's a big message, because if any of you are resisting that, the messages and the signs are only going to get stronger. They're not going to go away. So don't resist it and just let it go. Let it be is the message. And let's get our sacred geometry, because that's the next deck that I really feel is going to help us. And of course, at the bottom, we got the healing card. The frequency of healing supports our intrinsic ability to restore our health and wholeness by consciously using the information that comes to us through our senses and harmonizing everything accordingly. This is what's taking place, basically. The number 29 again. There's a lot of 29 happening. And if we do numerology here, 2 plus 9 is 11. Prosperity. Your wish is coming true. 36 card. The frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well-being by allowing the inclusion of everything that makes our body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit sing. It invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebration of the abundance and riches that the universe provides. This is where we're all reaching and working towards. But again, it's a journey. Right? Let's bring in the Sacred Rebel Oracle. But there's also a lot of rebelliousness that's happening, believe it too, with God, many people, because it could be resentment towards God that many people might be experiencing because they're not where they want to be at, or they're experiencing challenges, but that's not going to last forever. This is the moment to receive it. Look at this, it's the same thing that we just did. Using our liquid to heal us, right? This is the receiving of the healing. I feel like Jesus Christ, the Ascended Master, is coming here also as a healer to help everyone worldwide. Dream a beautiful dream, but I'm feeling worldwide. Here we got the World card. And here we got visions of life beyond death. And this is exactly what I was thinking about with the metamorphosis that can also happen, because the butterfly has been coming up to me strong as a power animal, as a spirit animal. And I looked it up, and there was one little detail that I had missed, because it's not only about transformation, but it's also about life after death, believe it or not. It's immortality, the eternal soul that lives beyond after the physical death of the flesh. The spirit is living forever. And there's a great movie that you all should watch when you have the time. It's a very lengthy movie. It's about 3 hours. But it's the Pocahontas in live person, which is called A New World. And there's just so much messages in that movie. And at the end of the movie, I don't want to give it away, but she does become an immortal spirit, Pocahontas. So definitely watch that movie if you're interested about getting a more visual picture of what I'm talking about today. Because that's what's happening. That's what happened to the ancient civilizations, to the Mayans. Where do you think they went? They didn't just poof disappear. They didn't just all just die in physical flesh and then that's it. No, they were highly awakened beings because they lived on God's mountain. They had spiritual gifts and they were well aware of everything that's happening at a cosmic level. So of course they transcended into their spiritual immortality. So I feel like this is what's happening. You know, this is an ancestor here with her eyes closed, but she has all these spirit animals on top of her. The crow, which symbolizes intuition. The owl, which is seeing beyond, right? They are the ones that can see in the night. They can see beyond the dark, in the dark. the peacock as well, which is like about expression and beauty. It's more beautiful after. And we could read it as well, what extra message it has to say. And it's about also receiving these heaven-sent messages that we are getting, right, with the other card that we got. But this is the card that we need to read today. Let's do some healing. And I feel like this is the last cards that I will be using for today. This is how we're gonna close our spiritual talk so that we can get straight into our ensemble healing. Sacred vision is awakening within you. You are becoming blessed with the ability to truly see. Again, this is what I started with, the High Priestess card. Our intuition being heightened, full blast. To see what is real rather than what appears to be. This is true insight. What was once considered consequential may soon be found to hold little consequence after all. What was once dismissed as an irritation or irrelevance may be seen to have great spiritual significance, right? This is about seeing the blessings in disguise and knowing that everything happens for a reason. I can't just say that enough. As mundane as something once appeared, it can now be worthy of absolute attention. The gift of genuine vision takes you into the being of the universal creator. This is sacred terrain, beyond logic, convention, and that which is limited in any way. The more open that you are to receiving true vision, the more love you will feel and recognize within and around you. Something may appear to change form, to be shed, to be lost, or to die, but there is love within it always. This realization doesn't remove the pain of the loss, but it does provide a way through which it can be healed and eventually transformed into peace. The vision of love, the truth of all that is, can move us more than anything else possibly can. If you have been wondering about your life path, or whether you should take action on a project, or need inspiration to really move out of a slump that you've fallen into, that's what I feel like people are at, then this oracle brings you a message of hope. What the fashion show is about. You will receive your vision. And the vision of love, again, that's why the angel of love came up in the reverse. That's what's needed. You will be graced with a way out of the stagnancy. That's why we're experiencing the changes. And you will be able to see things differently and more accurately. So hence our different approach, our different perspective. Any confusion or uncertainty that you have felt is going to pass, and you will be left with clear insight. The stories that you've been feeding yourself or telling yourself may end up looking different to how they appear now. This may surprise you, but the vision that is coming to you will be more truthful and therefore free. It will be worth the shock, surprise, or even the moment of embarrassment when you realize that you've been operating under a false assurance or deluding yourself about the truth of a situation. Those moments will pass, and they are not something to feel bad about. They signify that you are leaving behind a smaller view for a more expansive one. Right? Because this is just the beginning. This is not the end of it, of this vision that you're having. They are a sign that you have outgrown your old vision in order to live in a bigger one. And this is good. There might be a moment when your ego feels a bit dented, but sure enough, that too will pass. This oracle comes with additional guidance for you. You are watched over by life and held in protection. Whatever has been bothering you will not be able to harm you. You will prevail. And if you're concerned that someone is getting away with something or blocking your path, and it seems there is nothing that you can do about it, don't worry. Because the all-seeing eye of life, which is God, perceives everything without exception. It is the universal mother with eyes not only in the back of her head, but in every living cell of life itself. She misses nothing, and the truth of her vision will always be met with justice, mercy, and wisdom. This oracle is also asking you to shift your perspective and look at an issue of concern a little differently. If you don't know how to do this, simply add the following statement to the end of the healing process below. I call upon the universal eye to show me the most helpful way to see the situation of concern now. In shifting how you look at things, the energy and what is beheld changes. And you can see this with people. When you shame and judge someone, they react differently to when they are loved and encouraged. They may succeed nonetheless, but the journey to that success will be different. Looking at something through the eyes of love rather than fear can help us find our way more quickly, easily, and enjoyably. So this oracle comes with the additional message that your ability to perceive is expanding into truth. Your ability to be inspired and see the light in all things is unfolding. And this is what's bringing us into May. It must be nourished in your heart with loving acceptance, because you are going to help others through your vision, your art, and how you choose to be in the world. The healing process below will help you accept and anchor this developing gift, because this is what we're all needing right now, anchoring. And I got that message the other day, but I just slipped my mind because there's so many. I might just start a journal with all these messages, because these little signs that I get have a lot to do with the energy. We have gotten the vision already of what it is that we want to create, but now it's about anchoring it again, just taking the action and doing it, making the beautiful artwork come true. So let's begin with the healing process. Say aloud, I now release any fear that I have associated with seeing truth, with seeing beyond the veil of illusion, or with my inner vision opening up from my heart, mind, and body. I release any wounding that I have received in relation to what I have witnessed at any time, especially when it is based in the fearful responses of others. I ask that my vision be restored to its fullness through compassion and unconditional love, so be it. Close your eyes, imagine love pouring down from the universe straight into your head, reaching behind your eyes and feeling really good. When you have had enough of this, simply open your eyes and imagine that you can breathe or exhale any excess energy gently out through them. And now you finish your healing process. And that's how we're going to conclude today's spiritual talk. Please make sure to also watch the Sample healing session as part of my spirituality retreat. Thank you for joining me for the spiritual talk for this full moon in Scorpio. My name is Krista Ramirez, and I'm your health and wellness expert. Namaste.